everyone, this is me, Jyotika Bedi from Happiness is Love, a community where we care, where we are there for everyone so that we can all cultivate happiness, love, positivity, gratitude, and all the positive aspects of human life. I'm very, very happy and excited to share this video with you today, primarily because today I'm going to talk about my most favorite topic, emotional intelligence, because I believe that emotional intelligence is your superpower. But again, we are not taught, we're not trained. There is no manual that actually teaches us on what emotional intelligence stands for, what it looks like, what it feels like, and how can I grow and build my EI, my emotional quotient. So yeah, we are a community where we want everyone to be heard. We want everybody to feel that they belong. We want people to feel understood and supported. And that's why we make these videos, so that even if it helps one individual feel better about himself or herself, one individual who feels that I'm not alone, one person who can learn something from our videos, our job is done. And that is why we feel propelled and are driven to make these videos every week for our audience. So thank you, parents, teachers, educators, teenagers, professionals, everyone, for being a part of our happy ecosystem, because that's the only way to build a better tomorrow. So let me get on with it on why I thought it is important to make a video on emotional intelligence. Because like I said, emotional intelligence is one of the key components for living the life that you deserve, for having deep, meaningful relationships and connections. To put it simply, emotional intelligence is how well we individuals identify and manage our own emotions and respond to the emotions of others. And it really is a skill that we all can develop. All it needs is practice, but first it needs understanding of the concept. So put it simply, it's really understanding your own feelings, your emotions, your needs, and the feelings, emotions, and needs of the other. Because this is what really shapes our worldview, our thoughts, and our actions towards ourselves and towards others. And it is very, very important for you to learn, because this skill will help you be your bestest, grandest, and most evolved self. So becoming more emotionally aware, emotionally conscious, and expressive allows you to gain a deeper understanding of who you really are, what you stand for, and enabling us to communicate better with others and build stronger bonds together. So we suggest, let's start with few tips, few tools and techniques that will provide you a good starting point to discover the foundation of your emotional intelligence. Because again, science is saying it, research is saying it, psychology is saying it, that intelligence, your IQ, only contributes 20% to your overall success in life. The rest 80% is on you developing your emotional quotient, on you investing in skills that will help you attain true happiness and true success. So let's jump in and let me share all these fun techniques and tools so that you can learn them, apply them, and give us feedback on how it's working out for you. So let's start with practicing observing how you feel. I know this is something very, very difficult for most of us, where we don't know how to check in with ourselves and ask ourselves, how am I feeling today? How does my heart feel today? What am I really feeling today? Labeling that emotion is very, very critical. And again, I have been able to build this skill primarily because of the work that we do. And as psychologists, we are trained to check in with ourselves and check in with our clients on how they are feeling. And for that, you need to expand your emotional vocabulary. In fact, there's a whole range of emotions that we all feel, but we don't know how to acknowledge, identify, and label those emotions. So number one is for you to practice observing. Just observe, recognize, look at what you're feeling. Because often we lead such hectic lives, such busy lives, it's very, very easy for us to lose touch with our emotions. We tend to distract ourselves out of our emotions. We hide them, we block them, we fight them, we try to suppress them, sometimes swallow them. But it is most important for you to connect with your inner feelings, and that requires work. Try setting out some time during the day. Like for me, my me time is my sacred time. It is a time where I spend 20 minutes before my day actually starts. I'm a mother of 3 kids. I have 2 dogs, so that's a lot of work. So I make sure that I give myself that 20 minutes every morning to check in with myself. How am I feeling today? So let me tell you what I really do. I usually shut my eyes and I connect with myself and I just quiz myself. I just do a little self-inquiry and I ask myself, how are you feeling today? And then I get an answer. Like this morning, I felt upbeat. So I said, okay, I feel upbeat today. But the days that I don't, let's say if I'm feeling stressed, I ask myself, what am I feeling? I'm feeling a little stressed. And then I dig deeper and ask myself, why? And I get my answer because maybe I'm swamped at work, I've not taken a break, I haven't slept well. And then you move towards action. What can I really do in order for me to feel less stressed? Answer is simple. Slow down. Practice. Rest. We need to make sure, because rest is so undervalued, we need to pause and rest. Or just practice more self-care. Just check in with yourself to ask yourself, am I sleeping enough? Am I working out enough? What is my diet these days? Am I really focusing on nourishing my body or not? So you will get your answer. So make sure you take up that time where you can breathe deep and notice how you're feeling emotionally. Please pay attention to where this emotion is showing up in your body, because our emotions really get stored in our body. And our body gives us signals. It's just that we don't listen to our body. Our body gives us signals when we don't feel okay. And the more you practice this, more this will become your second nature. Second, pay attention on how you behave. We are so hardwired to focus on how others are behaving, how others are reacting, that we are quick to check, to correct, and critique others. But guess what? You need to start observing yourself in action. You need to really see how you are behaving with others, how you are treating with others. Do people smile when they interact with you, or they leave frowning or stressed? Do a little self-audit today and observe yourself in action with others. If you're a parent, see yourself how you are responding to your children. If you're a professional, see how you are treating your team members. You'll be able to observe yourself in action. While you're practicing your emotional awareness, take the time to just notice how you are feeling inside. Because guess what? Happiness does not depend on what is happening outside of you. It depends on how you are feeling in the inside. Observe what's happening inside of you, because that's what kind of pushes you to be with the world outside you. So make sure that you are giving yourself the permission to experience the entire range of emotions and notice how it's impacting your everyday life. Managing our emotions becomes easier when we become more aware of our emotions and how we react to them. And I think as parents, this is our prime responsibility. I mean, it's fantastic if our children have great grades and accolades and they have fantastic profiles, but if they don't know how to manage their emotions, deal with stress, and handle conflict in life, nothing will matter. None of those grades and accolades or achievements will hold value, because true value really lies in how we manage our emotions. And believe me, it is a superpower. Next, question your own opinions. In this hyper-connected world, it is very easy to fall into the opinion bubble. There's no problem in having opinions. It's a state of our existence where our own opinions are constantly reinforced by people and we like others to agree with our point of view. But real emotional maturity really lies in understanding that everyone is right from their paradigm. Take time to read the other side of the story and challenge others' views and agree to disagree. But you have to do the work of being open to listening and understanding other people's viewpoints as well. This will make you a more receptive person, and you will be that person that everyone enjoys talking to. Everyone likes to go to and have a conversation with, as opposed to someone who just attacks others' viewpoints because you're not open to receiving another person's paradigm. Next, take responsibility for your feelings. This is a big one. As a parent, I believe that it is my prime responsibility to teach my children on owning their feelings. They need to acknowledge their own feelings without blaming others for their anger or their frustration. And this will only happen if you are modeling it to your parent. If you're a leader at work, it is your prime responsibility to demonstrate to your team that you own up, you acknowledge when you make mistakes, you take responsibility for your feelings, because your emotions and behavior comes from you. They don't come from anywhere else. While society really has made it acceptable, we've normalized it, that we blame others for our own anger. We blame others for our own negative emotions. It's time, and Corona has taught us well, that we all start to accept responsibility for how you feel, for how you behave, for how you treat others. And it is your prime responsibility to create a positive impact on people around you. That is the hard work that you need to do, and that requires daily practice, daily commitment, conscious effort, and hard work. Take time to celebrate the positive. We are so quick to judge. We are so quick to complain. And whatever you practice, you become good at. So let's start practicing and celebrating positivity, because believe me, whatever you focus on will only grow. A key part of emotional intelligence is celebrating and reflecting on the positive moments in one's life. People who experience positive emotions are generally more resilient. They are more likely to have deep, meaningful relationships, which will help them deal with any kind of adversity. This is very, very critical. But don't ignore the negative. Reflect on negative feelings just as important it is to reflect on the positive. Understanding why you feel negative at a key point of time is important for you becoming a full rounded individual, so that you are then able to deal with all the negative issues in the future. And believe me, even though I'm looked upon as a positivist, there are moments that negativity is something you got to deal with. You can't fight it. You can't block it. You can't ignore it. You have to learn to deal with it. So what you need to do really is to open yourself to the entire range of emotions. Make sure that you enjoy the whole rainbow of emotions, because again, positive and negative is a part of life. And we need to be quick to offer, in exchange of this negativity, an empathetic heart, an empathetic way to live our lives, so that we can listen to someone's experience and connect with it, because it resonates with who it is that I am. So if someone is feeling sad or scared or stressed or angry or anxious, you know how it feels because you've been there. And you have acknowledged that feeling within yourself. You have accepted that entire range of emotion within yourself and done the hard work of taking action and releasing those negative emotions. Again, this requires work. Don't be afraid to open yourself. It just might be a great start for you to be your best self. Immerse yourself in a new culture. The old saying, travel broadens the mind, is true too, and it is now shrinking, because the best way to open your mind is to jump onto experiences. Why millennials today are not living their happiest life is because they are not taught how to experience more positive emotions. We are so distracted with technology that we don't know how to boost more positive emotions and notice how a moment feels, because we are so busy on our iPhones that we don't allow ourselves. We don't give ourselves the permission to feel a positive emotion. We are too busy capturing that moment without really allowing ourselves to feel that sensation in ourselves. Right now, I am feeling immense gratitude because I have this privilege of sitting in front of a camera, having this beautiful environment. Behind me is my happy space where I allow my creative juices to flow and present to you my best self. And this happens only because of the work that I have done in the morning, where I've given myself that 20 minutes to check in with myself. And the days when I don't feel upbeat and bright and sunny, I give myself the permission to not make videos that day. I unplug for the day because I'm not able to be my best self for you. So it's very, very important for us to do that work of checking in with ourselves and becoming more self-aware. And we made a whole video on how self-awareness is your superpower. Believe me, self-awareness is the key component for your emotional intelligence. Knowing who you are, what you stand for, what are your life goals, what are your areas of improvement is your power. It is the only way that you can empower yourself. And once you do that work, you'll be able to empower others around you. And it is really the ability to recognize and understand your own character, your own moods, your emotions that impact not just you, your mental health, your emotional well-being, but those who are around you. It is basically a check on knowing your core strengths, your core competencies, your areas of improvement, or let's call them weaknesses, and knowing how others perceive you. How you perceive yourself is most important. However, you have to have the self-knowledge of how others are perceiving you. It can help highlight your areas of self-improvement and make you a better person. Next, learn to look at yourself objectively. I know this is hard. We all are not trained or taught to look at ourselves more objectively without our own personal biases. But it is so important for you to do that work. Ask people around you what they think of you. How do they perceive your strengths and your weaknesses? Write it down. Write down points for yourself. Take some psychometric tests. We run this beautiful test called the Myers-Briggs Personality Inventory. It's the best strength finder ever. Do that work. Invest in your self-learning and growth and self-awareness, so that you have a better understanding of yourself. And while you're doing all this hard work, don't forget to breathe. Life throws various situations at us, and there is stress here, there, everywhere. Believe me. Deep breathing, inhaling from the pit of your stomach, inhaling positivity, exhaling gratitude helps you manage your emotions. Believe me, when I'm in the middle of conflict, I'm in the middle of a stressful situation, well, let's say with my children, I bring my attention to my breathing. And when I do that, it helps me manage my emotions better. I avoid those negative outbursts, and I do myself a favor just by focusing on my breathing. Call a timeout. Go out, go for a walk, connect with nature, drink a glass of water. I have my glass of hot water right here. Anything to just calm your nerves down so that you are back to center. Give yourself a chance to get a hold on what's happening and then choose to respond without reacting to arrows being thrown at us every single moment. And don't forget that we are all lifelong learners, because guess what? Life never stops teaching us. So if you have this core belief that we are here to learn, to share, to grow, to be our better selves, you will be in a state of constant learning and moving. Understand and remember that emotional intelligence is something that you need to develop, and it requires continuous effort, continuous improvement. It's a lifelong practice, and I've signed up for it, and that's why we do the kind of work that we do, because we believe that we're all lifelong learners. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what to avoid. Those with high EQ are very rarely display the following traits, which you need to be mindful. Something for you to just keep in your checklist on what not to do. Number 1, drama. Emotionally intelligent people are good listeners. They offer sound advice by first understanding what others have to say. They extend an empathetic ears to those who need it, but they don't permit others in their lives to rule their lives. They choose not to be a part of the drama that is created around them. Next, they don't complain. Complaining implies just 2 things. 1, that we are victims, and 2, there are no solutions to our problem. But emotionally intelligent people understand that we are responsible for our own actions, reactions, our thoughts, our feelings, and our destiny. Rarely does an emotionally intelligent person will present himself or herself as a victim. They take responsibility because they focus on the solution. Instead of looking for someone or something to complain, blame, or judge, they focus on dissolving issues within themselves by telling themselves that they are going to focus on the good, they're going to focus on the situation, and they're going to focus on their actions on how they can make that situation better. So instead of saying, why me? What is this all about? They ask themselves, how can I learn from this situation? What can I do to make this situation better? So they refrain from negativity because emotionally intelligent people have the ability to deal with their negative emotions in a healthy manner. They are emotionally more aware because they acknowledge those negative thoughts. They check the quality of their thoughts. They focus on catching, checking, and challenging themselves when they're going down that negative spiral, because our brain, our mind is anyways on automatic negative default mode. And the hard work really is for us to challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with neutral or positive thoughts. Make sure that these people make sure that they don't dwell too much on the past, because past is gone. We have to learn to move on. Those with highly emotional awareness choose to learn from their mistakes. They choose to not just keep ruminating on the past, because they are mindful that all I have control on right now is my now. So let me focus on my now so that I can make my future brighter. I can make my future more sunny and happier. The question is not whether am I happy or not? The question is, how can I be happier? And you can only do that if you focus on your now, on taking actions now so that you can be your happier self. Selfishness. While a great degree of selfishness is required to get ahead in life, but too much of it only impacts our relationships, our health, our peace of mind. So such people understand that self-care And self-love is not selfish. They know how to balance, because life is about balance. Balancing giving, balancing taking care of others, balancing taking care of themselves, balancing taking their head and heart along. So such people are aware that self-care and self-love is not selfish. It's not narcissistic. It is self-interest. Such people don't give in to peer pressure. They don't believe in the herd mentality. They know that others are entitled to feel and do what they wish, and they know, because of the self-awareness that they have, they are not compelled to follow what others are doing. They think independently, they stand up and they speak up. They don't conform just to please people. Emotionally intelligent people stop themselves from being overcritical. This is something we all fall prey to. We sometimes, critique is important, but we sometimes get overcritical of ourselves and people around us. Nothing destroys a person's morale faster than just being overcritical. We all know that. We are all aware of this. Remember that people are only human and have the same motivations and limitations as you. Take out the time to understand another person and then learn skills to communicate with understanding, with empathy, and with more awareness. And this will come by you building on that emotional muscle, building your emotional intelligence, by understanding and successfully applying emotional intelligence tools that will help you reach your fullest potential and make you achieve your goals. Thank you once again for being there for us. We care. We want to continue our efforts of learning and sharing and growing alongside with you. We are immensely grateful for all the support. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, and keep liking. Thank you, thank you, thank you.